This Quranic healing miracle changed my life. Unbelievable spiritual transformation. Have you ever felt broken, lost, or trapped in darkness, searching for a cure that medicine could never give? Imagine a remedy so powerful it touches your heart, body, and soul, without pills, injections, or surgeries. Today, I'm going to tell you the story of how the Quran's healing power transformed a life completely. By the end, you'll discover why millions turn to Allah's words not just for guidance, but for true spiritual and physical healing. The storm outside raged like a relentless beast, battering the small, dimly lit apartment where Ayan sat, hunched over a stack of medical bills. The doctors had said it was hopeless. The pain in his chest wasn't just physical. It was the unbearable weight of despair pressing down on his spirit. Years of fatigue, insomnia, and endless tests had left him emotionally drained. Pills, injections, consultations, nothing seemed to work. He had reached the limit of human remedies, and the fear of losing hope gnawed at him like a silent predator. One night, as the wind howled and the rain struck the window like a drum, he noticed a small, worn-out Quran his grandmother had left him. It was dusty, its cover faded, but something about it drew him closer. He had always considered it sacred, yet distant, a book meant for reading during prayer and not something to rely on in life-or-death moments. But tonight, in the depth of his despair, he felt an inexplicable urge to open it. With trembling hands, he flipped to a random page. The words seemed to glow faintly in the dim light. And we send down of the Quran that which is a healing and a mercy to the believers. Surah Al-Isra, 17 hours, 82 minutes. The words felt alive, almost breathing, as if they were speaking directly to the deepest recesses of his soul. Ayan's heart, long hardened by fear and frustration, stirred with a flicker of hope. He began to recite the verses aloud, clumsy at first, unsure of the pronunciation. But with every word, a strange warmth spread through his chest. His pain, which had felt permanent, seemed to ease slightly. The tightness in his chest loosened. His mind, cluttered with worry, began to quieten. He kept reciting, tears streaming down his face. The storm outside, no longer terrifying, but almost in harmony with the rhythm of his words. Days passed, and he made it a ritual to recite the Quran. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, his body began to respond. Ayan noticed he could sleep better, his heart rate was steadier, and even the chronic aches he had ignored for years seemed to ease. Doctors were astonished. "We can't explain it," they said, examining him. "There is no medical reason why your condition should improve like this." But Ayan knew the truth. It wasn't medicine, not the injections, not even the most advanced technology. This was the mercy of Allah, flowing through the verses of the Quran. Ayan's journey wasn't easy. The first few nights were the hardest. Doubts whispered in his ear. Is this really working? Or is it just wishful thinking? He wondered. There were moments when the pain returned, and despair knocked at the door again. But he remembered the words of the Prophet Muhammad. Peace be upon him, there is no disease that Allah has created, except that he also has created its cure. And in that divine promise, Ayan found unwavering faith. As he continued, he discovered that healing was not only physical. The Quran also healed his heart. Years of anxiety, depression, and resentment melted away with each recitation. The words of Allah seemed to reach parts of his soul he didn't even know existed. The fear that had once paralyzed him became a distant memory, replaced by a serenity that felt eternal. Even his relationships began to improve. Family members, who had watched him suffer silently, noticed the transformation. Ayan's patience grew, his kindness became more evident, and his gratitude overflowed in every action, every word. One night, after a particularly long recitation of Surah Yasin, Ayan felt something extraordinary. A warmth surged through his chest, radiating to his entire body, almost like a healing fire. His room, once dim and lonely, seemed illuminated from within. A sense of peace enveloped him so completely that tears of pure joy ran down his cheeks. He realized that this wasn't merely a cure for his physical ailments. It was a rebirth, a spiritual awakening. Ayan wanted to share this gift. He began helping others, encouraging friends, family, and even strangers to recite the Quran with understanding and sincerity. People who had never experienced its spiritual power started noticing changes in themselves. Anxiety lifted, chronic pains lessened, and hearts found comfort in the unlikeliest of times. His story spread quietly at first, then like wildfire. One day, he met a woman named Fatima, who had been struggling with severe depression for years. Her laughter had been stolen by despair, and she had given up on life. Ayan taught her the same method: recitation with reflection, supplication, and complete faith in Allah's healing power. Within weeks, Fatima experienced something miraculous. She could feel her energy returning, her heart no longer heavy, and a spark of joy, long extinguished, rekindled. Watching her transformation, Ayan realized the profound truth of the Quran's promise. It is indeed a source of mercy, guidance, and healing for every believer. But the journey also had tests. Ayan faced skepticism, mockery, and even accusations of superstition. Some laughed at his faith in the Quran's healing power. Yet, he remained steadfast, remembering the countless instances where believers had turned to the Quran in their darkest hours and found miraculous relief. Each challenge only strengthened his resolve. Faith, he discovered, was not the absence of struggle, but the persistence through it. Over the years, Ayan became known as a guide for those seeking spiritual and physical healing. His life was a living testament to the Quran's power, and countless people came to witness it firsthand. Every recitation, every dua, every act of patience and gratitude reinforced the unshakable truth. The Quran is a cure for the heart, mind, and body, a divine miracle accessible to all who approach it with sincerity. In moments of quiet reflection, Ayan often thought back to that stormy night when despair had seemed insurmountable. How fragile life could feel, how easily hope could slip away. Yet, in those moments of vulnerability, Allah had guided him to the ultimate healer. The Quran had not only restored his health, but had reshaped his soul, his purpose, and his understanding of life. He realized that the true miracle was not in the physical healing alone, but in the transformation of the heart. The Quran's verses carried a profound energy, a spiritual vibration that reached beyond human understanding. It calmed the restless, comforted the sorrowful, and strengthened the weak. And as Ayan shared this with the world, he understood that every individual has access to this divine remedy, waiting patiently in the pages of the Quran, ready to heal those who seek it earnestly. And so, Ayan's story continues, echoing in every home, every heart, and every soul seeking solace. The Quran remains not just a book to be read, but a living miracle, a source of mercy, a healing balm, and a guide for every believer willing to listen and submit to the wisdom. If this story touched your heart and made you realize the power of the Quran, imagine the blessings waiting for you when you implement it in your life. Subscribe to Deen in Minute for more inspiring stories, miraculous transformations, and practical ways to bring the Quran's healing power into your daily life. Hit the bell icon so you never miss a moment of spiritual upliftment, and share this video with anyone who needs hope today. Remember, every recitation, every dua, every moment of faith can change a life, maybe even yours.